Resident Evil 4.
Alright, so let's see what's behind this door, and nothing.
What's it behind the corner?
And... oh, cutscene.
I've got this different gun. Hey, look, a boat.
Hey, look, Ada. Hey, look, boobs.
Need a ride, handsome?
Where? Oh, they're there.
Okay.
It's not her fault. They made her boobs bigger in 6. I thought it was weird. Like, it's funny. I like her design here. Like, first off, let's be honest. I like everyone's design here more than everywhere else.
Yeah.
But I don't like Ada's design. I think she's like half Chinese, half French.
Okay.
And this design for her, like, leans more on the Chinese aspect. She looks more Asian here.
Mm-hmm.
She looks more white in Resident Evil 6. But she still looks mixed here. Like, she doesn't look...
Yeah.
But she looks, I think, a little bit more Caucasian in 6. I don't like her design there as much.
And a grappling hook.
Got some business to take care of.
He's like, what the fuck? Like, that is very much a what the fuck.
He's like, I'm gonna... He's like, so this is how I die.
Women. Oh, like, what do you know about women, Leon?
All the women in your life are either...
Ah, that ugly. I felt a disturbance in the force.
Give up and let Ashley go home.
Do it.
Perhaps you.
I'm done with this bullshit.
Listen, Sadler, I'm fucking done. Okay, so like I said before, whenever you go to a new area of the game, I said this in the previous episode, like way back, it's an excuse for the game to ratchet up the difficulty, because you have a new wave of enemies who like have different, completely different like look to them. We are now on an island, a new island, separate from the castle.
Right.
So we're gonna have a new wave of enemies, and they're gonna be way harder than the previous ones we just fought.
Okay.
I don't think I missed anything here.
But not as hard as the boss fight we just did.
Dude, if they were that easy, the second would be a lot easier. There's a lot of tough dudes with a lot of new moves.
Oh, man.
They're a lot more annoying than the previous guys we fought, actually.
Oh, what was over there? Is that a statue?
No, it's a we'll see. We'll get over there.
Oh, okay.
I want to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I did not.
Alright. Okay. And jump over. Yeah, so...
Yeah, this part gets a...
Wait, is that snow?
No, I think it's like limestone. I think it's either like... No, it's like a water puddle. See?
Uh-huh.
No reflection because, you know, GameCube.
Because Leon's a vampire.
But, you know, they did what they could with what they had.
Oh, man, how much cooler would it be if Leon was a vampire?
It would not be.
No?
No, because there is actually a shitty Resident Evil 2 rip-off game where the plot is you kill vampires instead of fucking people, and it's super lame.
But you're not a vampire.
I think you might be in that. I think
really?
Yeah. I don't know. I might be wrong. But, like, no. Listen. Once the 2000s hit, something becoming a vampire became not cool anymore. It is no longer... It's like, Medin's but a vampire. So you mean lamer? No, cooler. No.
No.
It was cool, and then every 16-year-old in the world ruined it.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about Twilight. Way before Twilight, there was a big, like, explode... Oh, wait, did you hear that?
I heard that.
Lashley! If only Leon had that much emotion. There she is.
Yeah. Being carried off by army zombie.
You know what? At least she's trying. Like she's at least like making an attempt to try to get.
She's like, no, look. I know this is useless, but I'm not gonna give up.
Exactly. All right. So we gotta Metal Gear Solid this thing.
So you're gonna shoot the light out?
We're gonna sneak across. No! Dun, 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 dun. There's nothing you can do. The light will always see you. It makes it seem as if you can sneak across. Yeah. It makes it seem as if you can sneak across, but you can't. Hey, what's up?
Are those like commando?
Yes. They're all Schwarzenegger from the Predator.
Baby, you got yourself a stew going.
Ooh, baby, hello. Oh my god. Dude, like, I wish we had that. Like, that was the funniest thing you've ever done. Like, I was so jealous of you.
My one moment.
And it was the only moment in the movie where it worked.
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody who doesn't know,
you gotta provide a lot of backstory on this one.
Yeah. Carl Weathers is an actor. Let's use that. Carl Weathers is an actor. You may be familiar with him more as his role in, Oopie. I didn't want to do that. Shit. I don't want to exit because I'm about to, like, get killed here. This guy's got a chain gun. I think it makes him feel like a sexual Tyrannosaurus. Hold on.
And he said, I'm going to rip you a new one. I'm going to rip you a new one. And then he said, why did you say that twice? And he said, I didn't.
That's not the joke.
I know.
It's way more crude than that. I really don't like that kind of crude humor, but he does it. He pulls it off so well that I don't mind it. Oh fuck!
Are there other guys?
There are, totally are. I'm gonna stun them with this.
Who's like right behind you?
Yeah.
Shotgun to the face. To the face. More to the face. There you go.
That guy's fucking tough. Okay, we're gonna go back to the safe spot and snipe people off that little ledge. That guy's the hardest guy. The big fucker's the hardest guy because he has that fucking chain gun.
Can any of the guys jump over to you?
Yes, they're gonna try to, but I'm gonna pick them off as they come. Okay, Carl Weathers is an actor. You may know him more as Apollo Creed in the Rocky series,
Yes.
or as his role. I forget the name of the character, but he was also with Schwarzenegger in Predator.
Yes,
He was also in
Arrested Development.
but no, I was gonna say he was also in Happy Gilmore. He plays Chubbs.
Oh yeah.
A much more out of shape Carl Weathers as Chubbs in Happy Gilmore. Anyway, so this is where if you know who I'm talking about. If you've seen any of these movies, you know who I'm talking about. He shows up in Arrested Development playing himself. He plays Tobias Funke's acting coach. He plays an exaggerated version of himself who is always looking to save a buck, to squeeze two nickels together. To the point of tricking Tobias into thinking he was an acting teacher, and basically anytime there's free food, just pocketing buffet food and just being that kind of character.
Like whoa, why are you throwing those bones out?
Yeah. So there's a scene where they are at a party. I think it's a Valentine's Day party or an anniversary party for Lindsay and Tobias. And they're talking on the terrace. Carl Weathers and Tobias are, I should say. And Tobias is eating prime rib or whatever, on the bone as an hors d'oeuvre, and he's eating it, and he's about to throw away the plate, and Carl Weathers goes, "Oh, why are you throwing away that bone, baby? You take that home, put that in a pot, throw some potatoes and carrots, baby. You got a stew going." And then he proceeds to tell a story about how he's I was on the set of some movie he was on. It's I had a baked potato, didn't touch it all day. Got home, threw it in the pot, put some carrots, baby. I had a stew going. And Tobias is I think I want my money back. Realizing at that exact moment that Carl Weathers is a crazy person.
Yes.
That was a very boring recount of a very funny thing, of a very funny event. And I say that because of this reason. We're watching Predator. Me, Dan, and some friends. We're watching Predator, and there's a scene where him and Schwarzenegger are seeing each other for the first time in a long time, at the beginning of the movie. There's a scene where they go, it's you oh son of a bitch, and they high five each other, and their fucking biceps explode. In that scene, he starts listing the plan for what they're gonna do. And he's we're gonna go into the mountains, we're gonna come in through here, Chop's gonna wait for the evac, and then he says this whole long-winded explanation of the plot, and then just as he finishes it, Dan goes, "Baby, you got yourself a stew going." And I was so angry because I was and I waited for the whole movie oh, I'm gonna find an even better moment. Nope, never happens.
Never happens.
There was never a better moment than that.
Throughout the whole movie. It was a good movie.
It was a good movie.
As a side note, that was the first time I saw Predator.
It's actually a good so, because it's you don't realize what it is until you start watching that it's actually making fun of the kind of muscle-headed commando gun shoot bang genre that Schwarzenegger kind of dominated at the time.
Yep.
Him and Stallone. You think, oh, it's just another big bad it's not the first to do this. Alien did it way before. Aliens. No, actually, no. When Aliens came out, Aliens came out after I think Predator. Whatever. I'm a little confused about that. But basically, yeah, in the late 80s there was this weird kind of kickback where there were the stupid dumb action movies. Late 80s, early 90s were the stupid dumb action movies, and a couple movies came out that actually did a good job of satiring them. And Predator on the surface is a bunch of tough commando dudes, fucking misogynistic, fucking just
This is a big dick army movie.
Yeah, big dick cigar chomping dudes. But they all get their shit wrecked by one alien, and then it becomes this kind of slowed down stealth. I have to outthink the enemy movie, and it's completely different from what you would expect from a Schwarzenegger flick. Schwarzenegger's weird because he gets credited as being like a shitty actor because he is.
Right.
But like he has been in like
A lot of good movies.
not only a lot of good movies, but like science fiction cult classics.
Mm-hmm.
He was in Terminator and Terminator 2.
He was in Total Recall.
He was in Total Recall, which is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And a real like pop culture like gem. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
that's a cult classic right there. He's in Predator, which is another movie that's of a similar like nature. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's really weird when you think about it. Like how did he wind up in like those kind of movies like so consistently?
Because he put a chokehold on Jean-Claude Van Damme every time he auditioned for them.
Yeah, oh my god.
Could you imagine Jean-Claude Van Damme in Total Recall? I can.
I actually can. Because they both have such thick accents it would have worked either way.
Right?
The only difference is that like there wouldn't be a scene where Schwarzenegger rips a guy's fucking arms off. That was the one thing with Schwarzenegger. Oh, Running Man!
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
People are about to be like, how the you were talking about sci-fi pop culture gems and you don't say the fucking Running Man. The Running Man, probably the biggest like cult classic of all time when it comes to that genre.
Mm-hmm.
The inspiration for fucking Smash TV.
Yes.
Like, how the fuck did I forget The Running Man? Oh my god. The problem with those movies, I remember that because like the problem with the Schwarzenegger movies is no matter how grounded in reality they may be, he has the strength of 20 Hulks. He can ram a pipe through someone's stomach, literally rip the arms off their body like he's a gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
He can do absurd, ridiculous things that no human being could possibly fucking do. And there's never any real good explanation as to why.
Right. It's just he is. Look at him.
I know, but it's like he's in a movie where it's like, oh, yeah, this is actually not the next as a plot, and then like he just starts doing things. You're like, okay, like true. I'm not gonna say True Lies is grounded in reality,
No.
but his strength in that movie isn't like showcased as him being some kind of Adonis, except for the one scene where he nonchalantly punches through the window of a car.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking to Tom Arnold's character.
Yes.
And he's like, give me the goddamn page! And he just like whips his fist through a window like it was made of tissue paper. To which Tom Arnold like looks at the window, looks at his hand, looks at Schwarzenegger, and gives him the paper. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
But it's like ridiculous considering that character is not Conan the Barbarian.
Which he was also in.
Which he was also in. Which is like a cult classic of like it's another cult classic, not sci-fi, but of
Low fantasy.
lo-fi. No, sorry, low fantasy. You're right, not lo-fi, low fantasy.
Yeah.
One of like probably the best low fantasy movie ever made because most of them are pretty garbage,
Yeah.
as denoted by the fact that they're called low fantasy.
Well, no, low fantasy just means like, all right, it's around the time where a lot of fantasy takes place. Oh, yet another death pit. But there's no magic, incantations.
No,
magical-
there's magic because there's magic in Conan.
But, all right.
I think the difference between low fantasy is I think there's two differences between low fantasy and high fantasy. One is historically low fantasy when made into movies and TV shows has much lower production value. That's one. Secondly, as far as like the genre, low fantasy is a lot of like tough guys with swords and
Yes.
and
like Black Company and
and-
mercenaries and
no shirt, and there's no elves and there's no like
yeah, it's
dwarves and high
generally
elves.
human-centric.
Yeah, it's very human centric. Maybe there's trolls, there's monsters, of course.
Of course, yeah, but what?
Wow, that guy scurried. That could only be described as a scurry. I think it's defined as like a lack of like I think high fantasy is really defined by elves, in my opinion.
Well, that again ties into the whole magic thing. Like that guy has a rocket launcher.
Yes.
Generally in low fantasy, yes, magic does exist, but it's not like hello Hamora. This central aspect of you have the warrior, the priest, the wizard, the thief. Like most, if not all, the characters in low fantasy are like soldiers, commoners, thieves, barbarians. There's no wizard. There's no.
And if there
mage.
is, they're a bad guy always.
A bad guy, or they're the goal. You need to reach the wizard because
Yes.
he can help us. You need to reach the psychic or the
And
oracle.
it's like the warlock or the wizard. He's a bad guy. He's like got a kingdom. He's like has evil magic. And then there's like a shamanistic character who has more natural magic, but his magic isn't the same.
Right.
Like he could like Mako in Conan. Like he draws all the numbers on his face and heals him, but he doesn't like turn into a snake.
Right.
Like
exactly.
James Earl Jones' character can literally like, I can't believe I'm talking about a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, James Earl Jones, and Japanese actor Mako. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous. That movie exists. But like his magic is very like, was it magic? You know what I mean? Like, whereas there's a character, like, he turns into a snake, he's mind controlling people. He's clearly magic.
Right.
He clearly, or at least has some level of, like, hallucinogenic sorcery. He's got something, even if it is only a trick of the eye.
Yeah.
He's doing something.
It's like he knows illusions or something.
Yeah. Whereas Mako's power is spiritual. Mm-hmm. And that is the difference between, like, the good guy wizard and the bad guy wizard.
Yes.
Whereas high fantasy, like, you have a guy who can shoot fireballs on your team, and you'd almost never have that in, like, a low fantasy setting.
Right. And if they are in a quest for magic, it's like ancient magic, taboo magic, the device that'll save the world, the device that'll end the world, and we need to stop it. It's like,
Yeah, they have tasers. They have tasers.
Oh,
That's why these guys are harder, because they have tasers, and, like, a lot more of them have crossbows.
and a lot more of them have.
And these
face
guys are
protection.
and these guys are not scared to run at me. Because they know that they'll beat me in a straight up confrontation.
That guy looked like a psycho from Borderlands.
Yeah, they do. They look a lot like the Psychos from Borderlands. To be fair, the Psycho from Borderlands is not a very original design.
No.
The Psychos from Borderlands look like pretty much all the characters from Mad Max. That's pretty much their inspiration, is like the Mad Max movie.
Well, yeah, Borderlands is pretty much the world of Mad Max with a little more sci-fi.
But you were saying so that's the thing with low fantasy. So like, and also low fantasy tends to God damn it,
How many of these guys?
a lot. They just keep coming. They do stop at a certain point, but they come for a very, very long time. Like there's a there we go.
Ooh.
Also in the world of low fantasy, like everything tends to be kind of destroyed. Like it's all desert scapes. There's not like the high forest. It's like there's not a lot of like really good places to be.
I was gonna say like barren farmlands.
Like what's a really good example of like low fantasy, like taken into like a modern convention?
What's that?
Adventure Time. That is a world of low. Like he lives in the low fantasy world. He does because the character of Billy is Conan.
Yeah.
They're sorcerers, but they're all bad guys, and they live in Wizard City. Mm-hmm. And think about it, like Adventure Time takes place on a post-apocalyptic Earth.
Yes. The
Yeah.
land of Ood.
Which is actually not uncommon in low fantasy.
No.
To find out that it actually takes place in our world.
But like thousands.
I mean,
of years.
you know what's funny? You know what's a good example of low fantasy and lo-fi as well?
What?
Low science fictional fantasy. Thundercats.
Yes.
Because Mumra is totally the evil wizard, and Lionel is the barbarian, and the good wizard is dead. He's a mentor figure.
Yeah.
And they're on a planet that is Earth, like thousands of years in the future after it's been post-apocalyptic. And think about it, they're all like warriors, and like the bad guys are the fucking jackal men. They're all barbarians.
Yeah.
I'm right.
And the quest of the Thundercats usually involves like helping the local citizens.
Yes. We're being terrorized by these assholes. And you know what's another good example of it? Like taken into like a modern, like Mad Max setting.
What's that?
One of your favorite animes of all time, Fist of the North Star.
Fist of the North Star.
Same thing. It's a dude wandering. He's basically Conan,
Yeah.
but with his fists.
Yes.
And he just walks around killing people and like helps people and is in a desert setting. Like it has all the tropes of low fantasy, except it's not in a fantasy setting.
No, it's a lo-fi, low science fiction.
Yeah.
Post-apocalyptic. There's cars. Yeah, it's more Mad Max. There's a lot of raving.
Again, that's another thing that is like this is Mad Max.
Yeah.
Mad Max like changed the scape on like what the post-apocalypse looked like,
Yeah, it's like everything turned into a desert. There is no more water.
except for Waterworld, which was Mad Max on the sea.
Wasn't that to date one of the most expensive movies ever made?
I don't follow the numbers very well. I know for a very long time it was.
Yeah.
When you say to date, maybe I don't think there's been a flop as big since. We have the links.
I would argue Battlefield Earth.
I don't think it did worse than Waterworld.
Really?
It might not have. Waterworld did really bad. It's funny because like good. I gotta show you the map. There was a good amount of care put into that movie. They wanted to make a good movie. Just the plot, it was just a dumb movie.
Yeah. What was it? Killer 7?
Oh, the Killer 7. It's a Magnum. I don't know if it's referring to Killer 7 the game, because Killer 7 was one of the what is it, the GameCube 5, the Capcom 5, like Beautiful Joe, Resident Evil, Killer 7 games that were all exclusive to the GameCube.
Mm-hmm. And that was like a nod to like, hey,
Could have been. I don't know for sure. Let's do Striker. I want firepower, and I have a little
you
bit.
can upgrade the fire. No, you can't.
I
Upgrade
can't do it again. I
again.
can't do it again. I'm gonna do I'm fine with the low speed. I'm gonna do capacity.
That old kid.
There, I'm a little bit better off now. And then reload this. This is done, so I'm never gonna get more capacity for that.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is that? What does that chart say behind him?
You know, I didn't check. I'm so stupid. I could have done this. I'm so stupid. That's what I should have done. It's too late now. I can't go back. And I have nothing else to sell. What's that?
Well, that's-
Oh, I don't know. It looks like a different like.
Lamb. What? No, whip out the sniper rifle.
It looks like I mean the texture's gonna be super low on that, even with this new HD textures. Yeah, there's no real words. It looks like images of guns. It looks like it's like the cost of prices of different guns. Like that smudge is like a machine gun. That smudge is a rifle. It's meant to be looked at from far away with low texture. So like they look like guns from this distance.
They do.
But when I put them close, they look like nothing. Yeah, that's all it is. Say 1611, and I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like a thing about guns.
Well, you're technically in an army base, right?
Yes, and we are also technically out of time because we were talking a little bit about Conan. I lost track of what we were doing. So see you next time, folks. As I continue to do stuff, I've kind of lost track of the plot here. We'll see if we can regain it next time. We've kind of fucked around a little too much. We'll get more on track. It'll get scarier. It'll get more survival horror. It'll be fun.
Damn it, Cohagen.
Damn it, go ahead. Give me the goddamn page.
Give me the goddamn page.